We assume men cheat, but we're like shocked when like if a woman supposedly cheats.
All I need in this life is sin. It's me and my girlfriend. Look for me.
Welcome.
So today we are starting what I think is going to be a brand new series. Ooh. Where we come and we make cocktails. Different kind of cocktails, or maybe we'll feature like a different kind of wine or something each time. For this first cocktail hour, I was thinking that we would make one of my favorite cocktails actually, and I learned it from my last job, and it is called a Paloma. So, fun fact, a lot of people think that like the official, like most beloved cocktail in Mexico is a margarita.
Really?
Yeah, which it in fact is not, it's a Paloma. So the difference, from my understanding, between a margarita and a Paloma is a margarita, obviously. It's what we know. And then a Paloma, where it differentiates, is it has the tequila and it has the lime,
right? But
instead of like the super sweetness of a typical margarita, it's made with grapefruit juice and seltzer or grapefruit soda.
I see.
So, Joseph recently discovered a soda called Squirt from Mexico? It is from Mexico.
This kind is made in Mexico. I don't know if Squirt is.
Oh, okay.
But you know how Coke has the
made in Mexico. So this is a grapefruit soda that's really, really good. And we tried it. It's actually really sweet, so it kind of goes against what the Paloma is supposed to do, but it's okay. It's fine. It's made with grapefruit soda, and this is grape soda. So, I mean, grapefruit
I hate
soda.
that they did that. Why couldn't they be different names?
What?
Like,
Grape and grapefruit?
There already was a grapefruit.
I know.
Whatever.
It's too much. So, basically, during these cocktail hours, I figured we can just talk about whatever we want. And right now, I think we're going to focus on some pop culture sort of things that are happening right now, some Black Twitter things that are happening right now. Because I live on Black Twitter and you live vicariously through me.
On Black Twitter Avenue. That's where you live.
Basically. Yeah. And you're in the house with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Living rent free.
We're gonna teach you how to make a Paloma. So what you need your grapefruit soda. You need tequila. This is Camarena tequila. Also made in Mexico. Oh shoot, we are doing it, okay? So you need your tequila. You need a lime. You need a knife. And that's about it. So all you gotta do is cut your lime in half.
Okay. I do most of the cookery around here.
So now that our lime is cut in half and my fingers are intact, I broke my cocktail glasses. So we're using wine glasses today. Now we're gonna take our squirt and our...
Pop that bad boy open.
I do like doing this.
Oh my God, don't take my glass.
I don't have my glasses on, so it's kind of...
Does that
really
impact
hard to
how
see.
you open a bottle?
I had to really squint.
All right,
for that one. Squint for the squirt.
Anyway, we're also gonna eyeball a shot.
Nice. Okay, that sounds about right.
Didn't it?
Like based on like the number of...
It sounded like... Yeah.
2 shots of vodka.
So now we're gonna take the lime. We're gonna
squeeze that bad boy.
Squeeze that bad boy. So now we have our little stirs. Thanks to my grandma for these. These are Playboy bunny stirs. That one has its ear broken off. And we're just gonna all right.
Oh yeah.
How do you feel about Megan Thee Stallion getting shot?
Well, very, very sad. Like, of course.
Yeah.
But like, the thing that I think stood out to both of us the most is that it really like wasn't talked about all that much. Like, it's kind of like, dang, she like released her thing about getting shot.
Her statement about
But,
getting shot.
Like, no one really like. We haven't really heard the full story as far as I know yet.
No, we haven't heard the full
I think
story.
that's why.
People aren't really even like that shook by it.
Yeah.
Like people aren't. I feel like people posted Megan's normal like posts on their stories more than they posted that she got shot.
Yeah.
You know, like if she
Yeah.
posts like a really cute bikini photo, you'll see that on everyone's story.
And this, it was like.
But this,
nah.
we all just know that it happened.
Yeah.
But
Maybe because she's not in like critical condition. Like she's like, she's shot in her foot, I think.
or she cut her foot when she was shot. I don't know.
Still
We
still
don't know
don't really
anything
know.
about her getting shot. We know that Tory Lanez was there,
involved in some way.
involved, and he got arrested for gun charges. But he
Right.
got released last Thursday
Yeah.
on bail.
Mhm.
For her to be one of just the biggest artists in general right now, like not even just rappers, just one of the
Yeah.
biggest artists to exist today. People just aren't talking about it that much.
Yeah.
It just, we know that it happened, but no one's like,
Oh my god, we have to get to the bottom of this.
like we know they saw Kylie Jenner earlier that day.
Right.
It was like her pool party or something.
Yeah.
And then Kylie Jenner just unfollowed them and that was it. Like
Yeah.
she hasn't made a statement.
Weird.
It's a
It's
really
like,
weird
are
situation.
you guys friends or what?
Like,
what
what's
happened?
I mean, Megan unfollowed her too.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think it's weird that it's like not being talked about that much. But maybe it will be once we get some more of the story of what actually happened.
I guess so. We just think it's kind of wild. Will and Jada. So August, what's his name? August
Alsina? I don't know how to
Alsina?
actually pronounce it. Yeah.
came out recently with a statement talking about his relationship with Jada Pinkett Smith. And he just, I don't know, apparently it was kind of out of nowhere that he even mentioned it. And everyone knew that Will and Jada had like ups and downs in their relationship, I guess. Like they had an open marriage for a while. As we learned, they like broke up for a little bit and stuff like that. But like we didn't really have like a name to go along with that situation. Like we didn't have a person to relate it to. We have a lot of opinions on it. So we finally actually watched the Red Table Talk today.
Right.
So it was all just what we heard through other people online about the whole situation. It was just like, oh my God, like Will looks miserable.
Poor Will.
Poor Will. I can't believe Jada would take advantage of someone so young and da 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 da.
Yeah.
They were talking about the whole thing happened when they weren't together. Like
Yeah.
they were separated at the time.
People kept, I guess maybe people think of it like, oh, if you were not divorced, it is cheating. But like, if they were separated, they were, they were taking a break that at the time they thought was indefinite.
Yeah.
Might be forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like not like it's really cheating at all to me.
It wasn't like they weren't together.
That's not even
And Will
for us
knew
to
about
decide.
it. It's
Yeah.
not for us to decide, first of
Yeah,
all.
it's
Yeah, like
your own
cheating
idea.
is whatever you make it.
Yeah, in
like-
your relationship, you determine, is this cheating? Is this?
Yeah.
Like, what are the parameters and how, like, if you go out of it, that's cheating, right?
Exactly. Like I feel really strongly that all relationships are different, and I feel like we shouldn't all have to abide by the same set of rules in our relationships. Like I don't believe that a relationship should for everyone necessarily be like you find this person, it's just you two, completely monogamous, and then you get married and that's it all the time, no matter what. Like not everyone works like that, Like not everyone wants to get married even. Like I find there to be a lot of legal benefits to getting married, personally. But not everyone believes in the concept of marriage. And
Right.
like you can just be together for your whole lives, or you can be together and be with other people, or
Yeah.
you can equally be with a lot of people. Like I don't know, it just feels very narrow-minded of people to look at their relationship and then everyone's like,
Oh no, I don't want that Jada and Will love anymore. That's not real. That's not da 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 da.
but it is still real. Like when we were even watching the video, we were like, "Aw, like we still love them as a couple, as a relationship," because they genuinely love each other. They like each other as people, and they get along, and all of that. And it just kind of feels like, who are we to decide that? You know?
Yeah, it feels like a lot of people's reactions to it was kind of immature.
Many people.
And just kind of focused on like my idea of what a relationship is. This is outside of that, or my idea of what a marriage is, and not really thinking that your idea does not matter at all when it comes to these two people who are in a relationship and were broken up at the time.
Even.
It's up to them what is acceptable or not, right?
But we talk about like where we're at in our relationship and how we feel about certain things, and it's just general checking in. And I feel like it gets like, my opinion is, if you're in a situation where you know you want to be with the person for forever, it's like you can't just assume you're going to be on the same page all the time no matter what. And like I feel like when you're not on the same page and you kind of like have an inkling that like you might not be on the same page, or like your desires have changed from what they were or something like that, it's important to talk about that. It's important to bring that up. And I was having this conversation with my mom yesterday, and she was just kind of saying like a lot of married couples aren't willing to have those difficult conversations. It's not even worth the difficult conversation. And I said, that just doesn't make sense to me. Maybe it's because I am strong-willed. I don't know. Excuse me.
It's a good thing.
I don't know. I feel like when your feelings have changed about something, or when you feel strongly about something, you start thinking something else, like when your thoughts start deviating from that ideal that you'd already set up in the beginning, it's important to discuss it. Like, it doesn't matter how difficult the conversation is, because those things that you want deep down aren't going to change. It's kind of like you're either going to resent the person that you're not sharing these feelings with, or you're going to do what you want anyway and then possibly risk your relationship by doing whatever. It's like that's such a tough conversation to have, but it's important to have if that's what you want to have. If you feel like you need some self-exploration, if you feel like you need to go act single with your single friends, like, if that's how you really feel, that feeling's not going to go away. That's what I think. What do you think?
If you have those kind of feelings of like, man, I want to experiment outside of just this one person, you see all these people.
That's how affairs happen.
Yeah, like, and like it's like, oh no, they'll deal with it. You see people cheating all the time. It's in every song. Every song is about it, so I'm sure it happens at least sometimes.
At least occasionally.
So the way you avoid that is having a discussion like, hey, I have these feelings. What's up? Because if you don't,
go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, because if you don't, then like you said, you're just gonna resent the other person for, even though it's not their fault because you haven't talked to them about it. It's your fault, right? You're gonna resent them for, you know, the feeling like being kind of trapped and like you don't have those options. If you're honest and they still say, I'm not really comfortable with that, you know where they stand, and then you can move forward from there. Like if you want to continue that relationship with them, or you can go from there because you did your part in at least trying to talk about that. But if you don't talk about it, and then I feel like that's when it goes all balled up, and you're gonna either act on it, break up with them so you can't act on it, or just feel like you hate that person, or there are parts of them that you like hate that aren't even like their fault because they don't even fully know how you feel. Yeah,
exactly. I just think the whole, like, how people are treating the situation between the two of them, like, is really telling of like why the world is the way that it is right now. Like how people really feel about that. Like, people, first of all, okay, I think let's break it up into like smaller chunks, okay? Right. So the big things that I took away from what people took away from the situation is that people really harped on the fact that Jada took advantage of August because she was older than he was. He was like in his early 20s, I think, when they started seeing each other. I feel like there's some sexism in that thought because older men date younger women all the time. And we're just kind of like, dang, he can still pull, you know? Like, we don't really think about it as like, oh my God, taking advantage. We don't really think about it like that.
Not a huge fan of that.
No, I'm not a huge
Especially
fan of that.
when you think of people actually taking advantage, people usually would think of it as a man taking advantage of a woman.
Of a younger woman.
That's something you see with like the power dynamics in Hollywood is men taking advantage of younger women.
But that's not how like we as a people, I've realized, view it.
Yeah,
like it's just kind of like,
he must have money, so she's with that.
Gold digger.
Right.
Oh,
It's like
she's with him for his money.
The negative
it
qualities
still
are
falls on the
always
woman.
Ascribed to the woman, right?
Always.
She's
Oh my God.
manipulative if she's older, or if she's younger, she's a gold digger and she's trying to get his money.
That's crazy. Oh my
Yeah.
God, I never even really put those two together.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that, first of all. And then, second of all, how people automatically felt bad for Will in the situation.
Yeah.
Because it was Jada the one having, I don't even want to call it an extramarital affair. She was just involved with someone outside of their marriage. Outside of the two of them. She was involved with someone else that was not Will Smith.
Yeah.
So people automatically were like, poor Will. Here he was trying to make it work. Here he was being faithful. Here he was being a good husband. And Jada is out here philandering about. And that's just not really what happened.
Yeah,
like,
that's a lie. Will was like, I didn't want anything to do with you at the time. Like,
yeah.
I was done with you. I kicked you to the curb. That's what
yeah.
they were saying.
Like
It's
they were not
this doesn't
together.
sound like-
For their own reasons outside of that.
Yeah.
And then her friendship with August turned into a relationship while her and Will were not together. So it was not an affair.
Yeah.
It was, she got involved with someone else. But even if they weren't separated at the time and Will still knew about it, that's still not poor Will. It's still not. If he is fully aware of the situation and I guess like agrees to it in a way, and even if they were still together, it's still not poor Will, regardless. Just because it's the wife going off and doing something that she wants to do.
Yeah. We assume men cheat, but we're like shocked when like if a woman supposedly cheats.
And the whole family falls apart. Like women should
Yeah.
take men back for cheating, but men should find better.
He apologized, like, come on, like give him another chance.
Which is BS.
Maybe you can, like that's an individual basis.
Yeah, but that shouldn't be the assumption. Like as a woman, it's like, but he's a good man,
There's just so
so
many
take
things.
him back. Like
Yeah.
what? And yet, if your wife cheats, nah, man, you can't trust her anymore.
She's loose. She's this and that.
Yeah, and she didn't even
Yeah.
cheat. Like I still want to make that super
right.
clear. We know that she did not cheat. Are you good?
It fell from here to here.
But she did not cheat.
That's kind of cool.
But we know that she didn't cheat. But we're saying even if she did, I just hate the way that people are responding to it.
It reminds me, like, sort of the opposite situation. It was like back in like 2015, I think. It was in the Los Angeles Lakers. There was Nick Young, who was at the time engaged to, I think, Iggy Azalea.
Oh, I remember that.
And I think he was talking about like him cheating on her in the locker room, and it was like recorded by D'Angelo Russell.
Oh, why do I feel like I remember that?
And everyone was like, D'Angelo Russell is a snitch. He's the worst. And it's like, but you're sort of putting the blame on the like they ruined. I'm actually tired of this too. Like somebody blaming somebody else for ruining their relationship or something that they did, right? And it just came to light. Again, not saying that you should blast somebody on the internet, right?
No,
Post on Snapchat.
probably wasn't the best thing to do,
But also, don't blame other people for the mistakes or what you're doing outside of your relationship when it's not in the parameters of what you and your partner have decided upon.
Lots of stuff has been going on. I don't really want to get into the whole backstory of everything because it's a really long story about everything that's happening between Tati, James Charles, Shane Dawson, and Jeffree Star that's happening in the beauty community right now. And we're not going to talk about any of that.
No, not
really. No,
Yeah.
that lots of other people have spoken on that.
Right.
And if you don't know what's going on and you would like to know what's going on with that whole situation, you can look at any variety of videos to give you the backstory. Last night, we saw that Jeffree Star posted a response to that whole situation that's been happening. And we would really just like to discuss that video.
Yeah.
Because in that video, the reason why you don't need to know the backstory of anything that happened is because he didn't address anything that happened in his video responding to it.
No specifics. It
No
was
specifics.
So vague.
At all.
It was really bad.
So
Yeah.
basically, it was like the perfect example of trying to get acceptance for an apology by people that don't actually need to accept it. Did that sentence make sense?
Yeah, I got you, but say it in a different way.
Okay, so basically he was apologizing to an audience that already wanted
To forgive him?
to forgive him. Thank you. An audience that already wanted to forgive him. So it was very vague, kind of took accountability, kind of didn't, very manipulative response. So the course of the video, essentially, he was like, I'm sorry, I did a really bad thing. I took this time to reflect. That's why it took so long. I'm usually really like sporadic with my responses, and I really took this time and I'm working on myself. And you can see that because I didn't post anything. And so he was taking accountability, kind of. He named no names, no real situation. Of course I did. Of course I did.
He said, of course I did, like 7 times. Like, and that's such like a, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
But it's such like a really cowardly way to like admit
Downplaying
fault. Ah, man, did I punch that person in the face? Of
course
course
I
I
did.
And like that was a bad thing
Like,
to do.
what else did you expect me to do? So that happened. And then after that, he immediately went into the allegations that him and Shane Dawson are no longer friends, and he distanced himself for publicity, and he went into this rant, this spiel that like,
Me and Shane Dawson are best friends. He is my best friend. He is the best person I know. Would I have been friends with him 10 years ago? No. Would he have been friends with me 10 years ago? No.
and in my mind, I was like, so.
No one's talking about 10 years ago.
No, no one's talking about 10 years ago. We're talking about literally present day.
Yeah.
But also, shouldn't that say something about both of you?
Yeah.
That you were both terrible people in the past and you've kind of continued to be bad?
Yeah.
But now you're just friends and we're supposed to just accept that because you're friends?
And then he had that whole part where he started talking about how
That's not the kind of person that I am. I have never blackmailed anybody. I was always there for people of color. I was the first person to speak up about this. Also, Black Lives Matter, Brown Taylor, this and that.
No,
Yeah.
go ahead. But
no, like
that was
such like it was so shameless. Is what
It-
you
yes.
used to describe it afterwards.
It was
Completely shameless.
shameless. It was basically downplaying everything that had happened that he was involved in. He was just basically like, I was involved in this drama. I'll admit I was involved in this drama, but that's in the past now. We have bigger fish to fry, is what he diverted it to. And we thought it was so shameless to put real deaths, real people,
Yeah.
in a video that's supposed to be you holding yourself accountable for your own actions. Like, don't deflect by using something, yes, admittedly, that's a lot more serious and a lot more prevalent, such as police brutality, but don't use that to deflect from the really horrible things that you have also done.
Right.
And it also just devalues Black Lives Matter in general because you're using it so willy-nilly, and it also just is, it's just shameless.
Yeah.
It's so shameless, especially because in the past we've seen that he has not always followed suit with that. And I don't mean 10 years ago, I mean recently. He has shown that he doesn't care about Black people. It doesn't matter how diverse your range is. And then he was talking about Jeffree Star Cosmetics has always been diverse, has always like included everyone and wanted to make everyone feel beautiful. And then at the very end it was like,
By the way, I have a new launch coming, so keep on the lookout.
So you went from taking accountability to pimping out your friend that's also under fire to then plugging how inclusive you are and that everyone should be focused on inclusivity and not other terrible things you've done to people in the past, to then pimp out your new product all in the same video. It was so like...
Yeah, it got worse and worse as you went along. At first, we were like this is like a terrible apology, really bad, we've seen it. We know manipulative people. We've seen plenty of apologies from people who are manipulative and tried to weasel their way out of things. And we see right through it. It's gaslighting. It's this and that. Just trying to maneuver and take as little responsibility as you need to. So that's kind of what we expected. And then it just got worse and worse. Like shamelessly using a serious political movement to deflect and to shield yourself, saying we have more important things to talk about, right? Just completely irresponsible. And then not only pimping his brand out, but pimping himself out, right? Saying, I've always been down for the cause. I've always been this and that. And it's just like, hey, if you are gonna say I apologize, I've done bad things in the past, and also say I've been a bomb person since day one. I've been doing the best things since day one.
Yeah.
POCs, I've been with it since day one. And that's not the kind of person I am to ever blackmail anybody. Not the kind of person I've ever been. It's like, okay, so are you recognizing that you've done bad things, but also thinking that you're also always been down for the cause?
He sounded like a newscaster reading off a teleprompter. It was very dramatic.
Yeah.
And he ended every statement like this. And it was just really a lie.
Yeah.
It was really a lie.
And we talked a little bit about how he didn't actually mention the specific things that happened, right?
Which is what made it so brilliant. We could tell it was such a well-crafted video. Of course, as non-supporters of Jeffree Star, we saw through it.
Yeah.
But if he wanted to appease the people that were either on the fence or believed in him anyway, so it's the wave of emotions you go through. If you tuned in just to see what he was gonna say, he placates those people in the very beginning by taking accountability. Those people sign off, it's whatever. But the people that were wanting to hear an apology from him because they believe in him anyway, you're gonna watch until the end of the video most likely. And then by the end of it, you kind of forget what you were there for, and now you're excited for the new launch. And it was just so well thought out that it was actually upsetting. It was not a sincere, candid video at all. Nothing about it. Nothing about the wording. Nothing about the setup. Nothing about the fact that he tried to seem down to earth by sitting on a couch, but also flaunted his power and wealth by showing just how grand the room that he was in was. But also, I'm just like you because I'm wearing a robe, but I'm more fabulous because I have a full face and a slayed wig. It was such a juxtaposition and such a good way to placate the people that already wanted to see him win.
Yeah.
And that's what was just so upsetting. And that's what all of his apologies are. It's just for the people that want to support him. They're not for the people that he's actually harmed, ever. This wasn't even an apology video at all. It was just addressing the situation. And addressing the situation was really just addressing his absence, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really bad.
It's so bad. If you enjoyed this cocktail hour, make sure you give it a like. Let us know if you have any favorite cocktails that you want us to try to make. We're not cocktail connoisseurs. I know a little bit more than you do, and that's not even saying a lot.
That's not.
It's really not. So if you have anything that you want us to make, let us know in the comments below, and we will catch you next time. Bye! You can say bye too. Bye!